Welcome to Carlton's Math Corner. Today we're going to continue our study on powers and exponents. To begin, I'm going to give you a moment to put a smile on your face and then make sure that you have your vocabulary packet as well as your math journal out. As a review, last time we talked about powers and how they include a base and an exponent. And we also learned how to write a product of factors. And so like 6 to the third was 6 times 6 times 6. Now, also prior to this, we learned about real numbers. And real numbers, which mostly we are working with rational numbers, include powers. So far everything that we've been doing has been working with rational numbers. So today we are going to be talking about writing numbers in exponential form. And with that, we are going to begin with a real life problem. So let's take a look at finding the volume. Now volume is the space inside something. Well, if I have like a rectangular prism or a rectangular box, I can find the volume by multiplying, and it even states in this problem, multiplying the length times the width times, and I'm sorry, it's really hard to highlight, times the height. Okay, so I can multiply the length, width, and height all together. And here's the length, here's the width, and here's the height. And that will find the volume of something. Well, what if my rectangular prism is actually not a rectangular shape? What if it's a cube? Okay, what if I have a cube, and cubes look a little different because all of their edges are exactly the same. So all of these edges or sides are the same. Basically, then if I am multiplying the length, the width, and the height, they're all equal in length. And so in our problem it says if a cube has length, width, and height of 6 inches, that means it is 6. So the length is 6, the width is 6, the height is 6. It says write the volume as a product and then write it in exponential form. Well, let's talk about what is exponential form. What I want you to notice is in that word, it has the word exponent. So exponential form includes an exponent, and if we're going to write an exponent, then we must have something else with it. What would that other thing be that we need to go with it? Remember, the sidekick needs to have something else too. And what was that other thing? Yeah, the sidekick needs the superhero, so it needs the base. So exponential form basically means that we're going to write an expression that has an exponent and it has a base. And so let's write out first of all our length, our width, and our height, and they're all 6, 6, 6. And remember, we're multiplying them together to find volume. Okay, and so how could I write 6 times 6 times 6? How could I simplify that and write it a different way with an exponent and a base? You're right, 6 to the third. That shows me that I have 3 6s, and it is a much simpler way to write this expression. Okay, let's try another problem. What about 3 times 3 times 3 times 3? And what I want you to notice, this dot is a little different than what we have seen with the x. The x represents multiplication, but the dot also represents multiplication. And another way you can write multiplication is with parentheses. If I put a 3 next to another 3, next to another 3, next to another 3, that means they're all multiplied together. So parentheses with a number next to it, it also means multiplication. And I know it gets so confusing because there's so many different symbols out there to represent, different operations. But, I mean, once you use them over and over again, it gets easier and easier. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, we are trying to write it in exponential form because it says write each product in exponential form. Okay, so we need an exponent and we need a base. So the exponent, we have 4 3's, so I have a 4. And then I have base of 3 because the 3 are, well, it represents my factors. Okay, so from this observation, or from this example, what I would like for you to do is figure out what would exponential form be for those 3 problems. And I'll give you a moment. Okay, so the first one, 9 to the 6, because there are 6 9's, so I can write it as 9 to the 6th power. 5 to the 4th, there's 4 5's. And lastly, 2 to the 8th, because there are 8 2's. So it's kind of like we are going in reverse order. We wrote out the product of factors before, and now we're going backwards. We're going back to where we started on the first video. So today, what I would like for you to do for your ticket problems is I want you to try out these 3 problems. Thank you so much for joining me at Carlton's Math Corner, and I look forward to meeting with you again to learn our next target.